Okay, I'm back, y'all, in Divinely Grateful Risings. Real quick. Uh this message is a little different, but I wanted to share this with y'all. So I just literally got back in the car from my walk, and as I was coming back over this little bridge, there were some people who stopped me. Y'all know how like the Christian people be outside, the church people be outside talking to different people, right? And so as they were talking to me, they were of course asking me, "Oh, are you a believer?" And asking their standard questions. But let me tell y'all something, right? And y'all know I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and it don't make me no never mind, because this is the thing. I don't expect everyone to agree with me. I don't expect everyone to understand my thought process and the way that God is dealing with me. But even in that conversation, it reiterated something to me that message is one of the reasons why I feel like God is taking a different approach to things. So as we were talking and conversing about different things, and of course they were like, the core issue for everyone is sin, and they were given a very Christian perspective, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. But in the midst of the conversation, I said something to the effect of like, God is everything. You know what I'm saying? I think I said something like, God is everything. He's the wind. He's the trees. Like, he is everything. And so the fella, he ended up saying, he was like, no, God is not everything. He's not the trees. He's not the soil. He's not the this. And then he made a statement. He was like, God creates, but he is not in everything. And so I said, well, that's a contradiction. I say, because God is in everything. I said, because I was like, and he is in his creations because he lives in us. And the man was literally like, I'm not going to debate that with you. God is not. Listen, at that point, I was like, okay, herein is my dilemma. I think it's why we have so much division, and why people lack, I don't want to say lack understanding of God, but how people are so easily turned away from him. Because this is the thing, y'all. We have to normalize having differing opinions. Everyone is not brought to God the same way. I was brought to God through tarot, and I'm still going to read tarot. And people say what they want to say about tarot or divination. I don't care about none of that. You understand? Because I know that I'm out here serving the Lord. But even in that conversation, it was like you could tell that the answers I was giving them differed so much with what they thought, what they felt, and then of course they start throwing out this scripture and that scripture. And by this time I had kind of checked out, because I was like, it was like, I'm not going to talk about that. Well, wait a minute. Well, what are we going to, because if we're talking about God, let's talk about God, right? Don't pick and choose what you want to talk about. And just because someone doesn't agree with what you're saying, that does not mean that they don't understand or know God. And it was very evident in that conversation that they and I had differing opinions, because it was like the scripture says, the scripture says, the scripture says, the scripture says. That's cool, but everybody don't come to God through the scripture. And one thing that I realized in that conversation is, one thing about me, one thing for certain, two things for sure, y'all, something I will never do, message. I will never try to force my opinion, my beliefs, my thought process on anyone, okay? That is not, to me, that is not the way to go about it. My goal and how God is using me is to be an inspiration, an example, and a light But the way he has me teaching, the way he has me showing people is different from other people. But I want us to normalize not thinking that our opinion, our way, our thoughts, our beliefs are the only way. There's one God, and that's it. There's one God. I'm not going to change that. I believe in Jesus, the Son of God. But don't try to force your opinions or what you want to talk about on somebody. You should still be receptive to listening to a differing opinion, even if you don't agree. I don't know. I hope this made sense. Everyone has their opinion. It would be like me trying to say that tarot is the only way to find God. How I'm going to say that when it's people... But I'm willing to listen. Even if I don't agree, I'm willing to listen to other people's perspectives, right? My perspective is still going to be my own. And I'm not going to, like I told them, I was like, I'm not going to argue it with you. I'm not here to disagree. And it was just very evident. And that, I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have, is that when someone has a different opinion, we don't want to discuss the differing opinion. We want people want their way to be the only way, and that's it. And y'all, we have to be more open-minded, more flexible, more adaptable, because I feel like that is what God is requiring in this season. Because the way that things used to be done, the way that people used to think, the way that people used to come to him, man, that's changing, y'all. That is changing, because what people aren't going for that anymore. And it's because of things like people not being willing to listen to a differing opinion, or you only want to talk about what you want to talk about in reference to the Lord. And I just don't think we should be like that. But anyway, I hope this made sense. Y'all hydrate your soul and things. Drink your water. Say gratitude. Have a fantastic day in purpose and on purpose. And be willing to listen to other people's perspective, even if you don't agree. Okay? Love y'all in real life. Bye, y'all.